Mastering Mediocrity presents Tool, Undertow.
Hello and welcome to Mastering Mediocrity Music Reviews. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ben.
And we have an extra dude,
Mark
Elwood.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same night.
Yeah, we'll ask it again just to get
12 minutes
you as
later.
much,
Tell us
time
about,
as possible.
tell us about yourself, Mark. Where you hail from, what you do.
I hail from Findlay, Ohio. Now live outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. And I stay home with my children and make custom furniture.
Absolutely. And you have a Facebook account for that?
I do. It's L Woodwork is my woodworking business.
Any website?
No website.
Bold move?
Still no website.
Still no website.
You'd have to check that beforehand. So anyways, music reviews is where we have a Wheel of Destiny recently anyways.
That is fucking heavily favored Jeff.
Well, 2 out of 2 times so far, yes. I have a 100% ratio so far. We've spun it twice. Both of the albums have landed on an album I chose. This one was Tool's Undertow, which I have to say I actually didn't know too terribly much about. It has my favorite Tool song, Sober, on it, so that will probably get a fairly high rating.
That's the only song I put stars by.
Well,
There's that.
there's probably a good reason for that. 1993, and I think like the conception of Tool was generally around 1991. They had a couple releases before then. Sober came out on the second one of those. Their first album cover for their like demo was a wrench, like a big wrench in the shape of a penis.
Nice.
And
That's a
I think
big
that's
memory.
where Tool comes from. And there is like definitely some self breakdowns there. I think they buy into the word tool somewhere or another. They're either used or
Penises?
yeah, penises.
They're talking about penises?
They are they're tools, bro.
What?
For
They're
reproduction.
tools.
I wasn't paying attention.
Fair enough. We like to drink a lot on this
Well,
recording, so well, we have been recently. I feel like the amount of alcohol involved has increased over time.
it has exponentially.
I don't know about exponentially.
Well, there's a certain point where you gotta stop.
Absolutely. It's within reason. But yeah,
It's
Tool.
less than what I drink during the week. I'll say that.
Like all week long, on Friday night you drink less than you do Monday through Thursday.
Oh no, like per night, like the amount I drink tonight will be less than what I drink like at home by myself on like just.
Because you're not driving anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Tool hails from Los Angeles. Maynard is on record saying that he's no longer wired for Los Angeles, and he actually owns a vineyard in Arizona.
As far as I know.
Yeah. So very interesting dude.
Far out.
He definitely gets into a lot of different things.
Yeah. He was on
And-
Rogan.
A lot.
Nothing
A couple
last year.
times.
Rogan, was he?
Yeah, he's been on
He's
Relatively
jiu-jitsu
recently.
guy,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
Had hip replacement.
probably.
No,
He is-
definitely.
From rocking out so hard.
He's also part of a perfect circle, and I think it's Pussifier, which is just kind of, I feel like it's more experimental even more than Tool, and then like a perfect circle is as pop as Maynard gets. It's more palatable than we'll find this album to be, at least in my mind, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see my opinions. I like Tool a lot. I've seen them live. Their live show is insane. As soon as they come on, the whole arena. Well, I saw them at Heritage Bank, U.S. Bank previously in
Pull their
Cincinnati.
dicks out.
Yeah, there may have been. I just was too far from the stage to see that.
No one told me I didn't pull mine out.
But
Just
Speaking
saw
of-
all the other ones.
speaking of pulling out, as soon as Tool comes on with their first song, everybody is around you is pulling out a joint, lighting it up, and smoking it. The entire arena was filled with smoke. It was ridiculous, and like the entire concert, I just had this like shit-eating grin on my face, and I was like, just this more, like the most I've ever been involved with like another body of people as I've been exposed to. And just like a really enjoyable time. Yeah. There was like those extreme moments where you're like, you have this great feel in life and you just connect with it so well. And I've not had a concert that I've been to that I've felt as connected with the music as Tool. To initiate the conversation about Tool,
Okay.
when you look at the bulk of my ratings, they're like based off of being forced to listen to the entire song. I'll start with that. Do you have any initial comments?
I didn't really listen to the album.
Why are
I'm
you
gonna be
here?
honest.
I'm
Honestly,
just fucking with you, bro.
was a podcast
Like,
until
yeah.
actually tonight, and
Yeah.
then you asked it. You didn't listen to the album, did you? I was like, what are you talking about?
I think I dropped some hints
That's it.
yesterday.
I tried to listen to it. I'm a big
Yeah.
90s grunge rock fan, huge fan.
Yeah.
I know what they are.
Okay.
But that was my point. Like, I'm a big fan of the genre, but I just have a hard time with
When you get into a lot of
Tool's style of music. It was hard to listen to.
Yeah,
I didn't.
well, I think
didn't
we'll all generally
listen
agree
to
to that. So, like, when you get into the fantasy rock, the fantasy metal that I listen to,
Yeah.
don't laugh at it. Get the fuck out of here!
I was right here.
That's a blind guardian,
I
brother.
know.
No,
I mean,
but
different strokes for
yeah,
different
like
folks.
you get into things that you're not gonna have heard before. I think Ben and I have actually probably heard all of those bands that you haven't heard before, but yeah, I hear you
Unless only
absolutely.
the top
So
40 or whatever.
this is the part of the show where we begin our debate on the album. We have generally 20 minutes. Let's begin.
Generally.
Yes.
All right.
This
bro.
is where
Let's swap scores. Take a look. Jesus Christ.
Oof.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
hey, yeah, I can agree with that.
I would find your opinion to be quite favorable there, Jeff.
Yeah.
We're not terribly
We're
far
not
apart.
We're not far off. You're a little bit high in some points, but
Your first song, okay.
all right. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So the first song,
I feel pretty good about like the first 6-7 songs.
Yeah, good in the sense that you're listening to Tool.
No.
You like them generally?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
then
like
yes.
in the purview of this album
I feel
and this type of music.
This is not something I'm gonna seek out to listen to again, but yeah, like that first song is a really good opener.
You liked it?
I was like, this is actually a pretty good song to work out to. I'm not gonna add it to any workout list,
No,
but like,
it worked for you.
But yeah, as far as this album goes, that was probably the best part of it. The first 4 songs were pretty good workout songs.
Really? You think so?
They're not the best workout songs.
Yeah,
But as far as like the album
they are
goes,
acceptable.
they can. I'm able to like work out to them, but it's like the worst workout I've ever had.
Yeah. No,
Like when you're walking.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to consider the spectrum of the music that you're in, and it is hard rock
Yeah.
when you want to like dilute it.
Are these guys experiment? I mean, they've got to be experimental, right? There were like some weird time signatures, not like super weird, but there were some like weird stutters and stuff.
I call them step changes, but you
Yeah.
probably have a better. Yeah, there are there's time, tempo, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
them. Step. There's this element where, like you can consider mathcore, which is generally the tempo is a little bit faster. Yeah, and then
or whatever. Yeah.
but they do things like that, but they exaggerate it all.
Mhm.
So, can you call them experimental being as mainstream as they are now?
Well, considering this album came out in 1993, I
Were
think-
they mainstream then?
Yeah, I think
How
that's pretty.
far up on the roster are they at that point?
The song Sober is one of their top songs. To me, one of their best songs. And when you listen to it, it's different than anything you ever heard.
I don't know.
Accessible to the degree that you can relate to it. And it's hard rock at its dilution point, but it's just Tool. They do things differently than anybody else that is popular.
Yeah, I would. My problem kind of with it was that like when you hear the instrumental part of the song, and then the vocals kick in,
Mhm.
it's like they don't sync
For you.
for me.
Mm.
They sync for me.
But I mean, they're obviously a really, successful band and
Yeah.
millions of people love them. But for me, I was expecting just something not so soft in the vocals. when it kicked in.
I don't want to say he's Bob Dylan of the '90s, but like the Bob Dylan effect, right? I mean, because like
kinda,
you don't
a
go
little bit.
you don't go to Bob Dylan and say he's a great singer. You say he's great at lyrics and vocals, but he's not a
Singer-songwriter.
great singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's like an iconic, and I'm not even gonna compare the two because they're so far off. But neither, if you want to find like communion with them, common ground, they are not formal singers. Neither of them are like opera trained, as you might find with Powerwolf, or I don't know if the guy from Sabaton is opera trained, but he has that voice,
I don't
right?
think he's
More formal.
Yeah, I don't
More
think he's been
formal in
trained at all.
nature. So yeah, experimental. Yeah, for its time,
Yeah.
but it in and of itself it became a mainstay,
Mhm.
and there are other bands who explore it. Rev Theory, Red, Chevelle are the ones that come to mind for me.
You think Chevelle and Tool are in the same?
They are
lineage?
they are the same vein. Listen to a couple Tool albums and then listen to Chevelle, their full albums, and you will find this like drawn out high bass signature. Chevelle doesn't explore the longevities of music, but they are in a similar spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you put it on the wheel, I'm probably not going to explore Chevelle.
I will say it doesn't make it because Tool covers it.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, all right. So Mark just couldn't even listen to it.
I couldn't.
There's nothing there for you.
My time to listen to music is basically in a workout, and
Mhm.
it just
If it kills the workout,
it just
yeah.
wasn't getting it done. I just couldn't keep it on.
So you gave Intolerance 7.5.
7.5, yeah.
Did you
Strong.
did you enjoy that in the scope of Tool, or did you enjoy that in the scope of all music?
In the scope of Tool, and I to me, it's just like a self-contained rating.
Yeah.
You know,
You do a good job of that. That's
Yeah.
fair. You're fair about that on that spectrum.
Yeah. So like I'm just rating it as it comes. So like
And,
7.5.
and being forced to listen to it, and I have an important factor at the end with listening to Tool and choosing to listen to Tool.
Okay.
So you're being forced. You listen to it, and you give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm working out. It's pretty high energy. It's pretty good. I don't like. He does this thing where he whispers or. Like
You
it's
can't
quiet.
really tell what he's saying.
Like
necessarily.
like he repeats the same line over and over again, but then
Yeah.
they have this. I don't want to call it a formula because it's not really. I don't know if it's
No,
necessarily.
there
a
is.
formula,
There's absolutely a formula.
but they've got a
Yeah.
certain style where things like da 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 da, like it's real choppy.
There's a deadbeat
There's like
in
choppy
there. Yeah.
or whatever, and I got sick of it by the sixth song.
So they go from a regular rhythm to like a syncopated rhythm.
Yeah, like it's cool and all, but like I don't want to hear it every song. I don't want to hear him whisper in the middle of every song. I don't want to hear him yell the same line over and over in every song, which happens like the first 5 songs.
No, you bring up a good point because there is something that's common throughout all of the songs that if you don't jive with it necessarily, it gets just muddled.
Yeah,
And
A lot
the
of
same
that-
thing happens for me, even though I like it.
yeah. By song 7, 7 was the last positively rated song, but like 6. Here, looking here. Even after this happened twice. At the second listen through, I had to take a break after Swamp Song because it's just like things start sounding too similar,
Yes.
and it's just like it's too much. It's not doing it like you're saying. It's like I'm working out, and it's just like
No way to get a rhythm
yeah,
to it.
yeah, and you're just like this. Nothing has like a traditional chorus. There might be a couple of traditional choruses in there,
Yeah.
But I mean, there are certainly traditional choruses, but it's not what I want from a working out chorus.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you can call them traditional. There's nothing traditional. There's nothing traditional about this.
Yeah.
Especially at the time. The qualities of the music are relatable, but the composition of the music is not. There's nothing about the sounds that you hear in this album that you've never heard before, like the twang of the guitar or the distortion levels. It's not harder than anything you've ever heard. It's not softer than anything you've ever heard. It's not faster than anything you've ever heard. It's not really even slower. Like, that's why it's not truly experimental, but they took the bounds of everything that was acceptable and hit those notes.
They just used the whole lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
like,
what they just used,
I'm going to be at the top of this and the low of this, but I'm not going to be inaccessible. And that's why they have like the number 99 album of all time. They reached the 100s, which is impressive for a hard rock band.
That's pretty impressive.
So you just kind of have to think like they were as unique as possible without excluding themselves from the crowd.
Yeah, without being too artistic.
Yeah, but it was as artistic as you could possibly be.
That was kind of my problem. Like I was expecting, like a Soundgarden knockoff or a Stone Temple Pilots, not knockoff, but like
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
the way they structure their songs and the way the vocals fit in, and
Not even close.
not even close.
Not even close.
Anywhere.
It's so different than what I think about the rest. Like you named Soundgarden. Was it Third Eye Blind? Was in there. Like if you're gonna say Hard Rocks, I like Third Eye Blind. I love it.
I wouldn't put them in the same. I don't know.
Hard
if I'd
rock
put them in
has
the
same thing, but like-
vein, but
And
Nirvana,
they,
might have been in
Nirvana,
there, but they were more on the grunge side than rock side. I think they were like the edge of the grunge.
Stone Temple Pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but all of their compositions were pretty normal.
Yeah.
The Tool, they're, to me, they are musical foreplay. Like, I'm gonna let you enjoy this.
Like
Yeah.
like a
Forced
shitty
foreplay.
hand
No,
job.
like think of deal, but they never just absolutely hit you with a cataclysmic blast of music. Like they go hard. There's nothing that just takes you there. To me, it's something that you want to feel and experience, but it's not something that wants to make you be joyous or just really delve into this, Sabaton. I'll say Sabaton, Powerwolf, and then I'll go back to the bands that are more popular, like Breaking Benjamin. These hard rock bands, they're gonna hit hard at some point. There's gonna be some sort of breakdown in their songs, and Tool does it, but it's just not too far. When you extend the scope of your music, there's no superlatives, nothing, unless you just want to go outrageous. So that's what we were saying before, is they hit the edges, but because they hit the edges, all of it is dull.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, we'll take a shot real quick. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mates.
I noticed I didn't spill that one because I used my right hand. I got a question for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Mark, I don't think you made it to this song.
If it was after song 2, it's a negative.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I was unaware of how important it was to the discussion that I actually
Muy
listened to the whole album.
importante.
Yeah.
I thought you were just
funnier.
recommending a good album to listen to. Oh, alright, I'll try it. That one's not good. I'll try this again.
Maybe the next one he says.
So I'm just not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright.
That's fair.
So,
And, yeah, we'll work
Song
things out.
number 10, Disgustipated. What did you think?
Well, it was Goats Bang and then there was some. If you listen, like if you,
Oh,
you have to turn the
see,
volume
no,
pretty high.
I didn't understand what you said, but you said goats.
Bang! Yeah.
Bang. You were making
Yeah.
noise. I thought you were.
So there's goats in the
Having a
beginning
stroke.
of this song, and then there's him saying like a phrase over and over and over again. What is it? What does he
This is
say?
necessary.
This is necessary. And
And
I think
I said-
they're talking about how like eating other living creatures is necessary. There's some lyrics in there that like
I looked this song up. There's like places where people talk about this song and shit. Yeah.
for like a
Or
long
like
time.
their interpretations of it, and that was one. Yeah.
So they're just talking about how like you have to eat something living in order to live, and then he says this is necessary for like 2 minutes, probably something like
I
that.
said
And-
this is necessary. Kept being repeated unnecessarily.
Well done, sir. Go clap for that. And then after the lyrics and the music, there's 8 minutes of
night
crickets.
noise. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I called those nighttime noises, crickets and shit. What a bunch of pretentious fucks.
I don't know if it was like pretentious or it's just
What are you talking about?
unnecessary.
It's
No,
a
no.
15-minute song.
Yeah.
With 8 minutes of crickets. Who does that? Pretentious people.
Well,
Yeah, I
It's
feel like that might have
unnecessary.
been a thing of that time, though. You ever like get
Yeah.
like old
No,
Incubus
the-
albums?
the
and
bonus-
stuff, or,
the
like,
bonus
the
thing
last
was-
song of
yeah.
those albums would be like 20 minutes long, and it'd be
Yeah.
just a bunch of random weird
Yeah.
shit.
Because they were switching to CDs, so they had so much space to be able to
Yeah.
fill.
when you got a
People were like,
tape
"Let's
or
do it."
like
But like
Yeah.
then you get stuff like this where it's like, oh cool, a 15-minute song.
I
But
can-
like by this point I wasn't into even if it was 15 minutes
No.
of song, I wouldn't have been into it.
yeah,
But-
I don't
but
know.
like-
Is it artistic value? Is it just filling time? Like just having the ability to employ music during this length of time, like. I just
Yeah.
thought it was unnecessary. I
Yeah.
gave it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I didn't even
I
think
actually like the part where he's singing. Just like make
There-
that a song.
They said online that there was a part where it was like someone on an answering, or there was a part where there was like an answering machine, or at least it sounds like an answering machine. But I think they said that was like Maynard's landlord or something like that. He was tripping on acid or something. And it was like leaving a voicemail on his phone or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know. So I was like, that's pretty cool. But like that cool story that I had to look up 20 years later, or was it almost 30 years later at this point? Like that's not a saving part to it. You know what I mean? Like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't make
It's
add that to the
unnecessary.
story. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. When something like this happens and the album is so questionable, I'm always just like, you fucking assholes. Especially since I have to listen to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna skip it.
Brave on
I
you.
listened to it.
Final comments. We'll go with you first.
You
didn't like
I don't. But it's like random messages in the end of the song. Have you guys ever gotten a random message from somebody like on your
Drunk
phone?
dial?
Not drunk dial,
No,
like
yeah,
from
yeah.
a complete stranger wrong
Yeah.
dialing you and then leaving you some like crazy, horrendous, offensive.
Oh, nothing.
That's typically
nothing horrendous or offensive.
not horrendous.
No, it's
Yeah,
always
yeah, a
something
few
was
of those from-
something was like.
Most
Oh,
of
you're
the
a
time,
kid.
it's like
Can
I
you call us
love.
about your
From 419er area
No,
codes.
no,
that people
I'm
are
talking
filling.
about like legit drunk dials.
Yeah, but from like no one you know.
Yeah,
Like a
that's what
wrong
I'm talking
number.
about. What are you talking about?
Just somebody called the wrong number, but
Yeah.
then left me the voicemail
Yeah.
that they intended for.
well, it's
like
either
for Don or whoever.
it's
you know?
either gonna be like some sort of like doctor's visit
Yeah.
for me, or it's gonna be like something like, "I love you, Stacy. I can't believe I did that to you." Like I've gotten those, which is ridiculous. You're like, "Oh, you fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't even call the right number."
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're pouring your heart out to the wrong person, and by the
I
time
don't
you
know how to go
cheap
up.
ass chair.
yeah, I think it's the very top one. Lift your butt, and then or forward one, I guess I should say. There you go, bro.
Alright.
Yeah, I've gotten those before. Those are hilarious to listen to because you're just like, man, you fucked up your life and you didn't even call the right number. Like
Yeah.
you're just wrong.
It makes me wish I would have saved them for if I ever like make an album. My last song, I could put all those.
Yeah. Hey,
Make it
Stacy,
15
I'm
minutes
sorry.
long.
Yeah. Hey, Stacy, I'm sorry if I fucked Christy.
Yeah,
In any case. So Ben, final. comments.
My final score was a 6. Because I mean, like the first couple of songs were pretty good, and then the last couple of songs, like the last 4 songs, are pretty terrible.
Yes. All right. I have 2 scores. 6.5 when I want to listen to Tool, and 4.0 when I want to listen to music. The problem is Tool is too challenging to listen to. You couldn't get past the rhythm changes,
Or singing.
Yeah, it was the mismatch with instruments and vocals.
I have no problem with instruments, vocals, longevity. Those are not my obstacles. But to make a playlist, it's got to be very hard most of the time. And
That's what she said.
you would hope.
Just most
You would
of
hope
the time.
for her enjoyment,
Most of the time.
most of the time is desirable. And like, I don't want it to challenge me. I don't want to listen to Tool when I'm working in the garage. I don't want to listen to Tool when I'm having sex. I don't want to listen to Tool when I'm chilling. Hey, you know
I
there's
don't listen
bands.
to any music.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, there's definitely music I
Yeah,
like.
there's a timer in my head, and it's like fucking make it
Finish.
2, 3, 4, 5, get to 7.
What I'm saying is,
Did you go?
Did you come, babe?
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
Good for you.
Tool isn't what I want to listen to in any occasion except for when I want to listen to Tool. And I still don't know what that means yet. Or I'm at their concert and I love it because there's just like so much going on and you can connect to the music. I haven't discovered that. I don't turn Tool on except for when I'm like, I want to listen to Tool. It just doesn't appear. And I think that's the major problem with Tool for me. And I know there's plenty of other people who just like, Tool is amazing. I'll listen to them all the time. I don't know. I'd love to meet the person who wants to listen to Tool all the time.
Yeah.
And they're out there.
Apparently. All right, we're back. Before we get to Jeff's favorite part, we're gonna pour ourselves a shot.
Getting low on that there bottle.
Mark's granite.
I don't know what kind of a
glass.
rock it is, but it came from the Ohio Indian caverns.
Aren't you special?
Fucking
I am, it was a
dug
gift.
straight out of the serpent mound.
Mine
Yes.
probably came from somewhere
Ancient
in
artifact.
Florida.
Cursed.
I am but cursed.
Cheers, mate.
Dripping all over us.
Well, it really is remarkable that we thought this was good last week. I mean, it is good. Jesus. But it feels so much harsher.
All right, boys. Are you ready for the
Wheel of Destiny.
All right, Marcus. As the new member,
It's an honor to be a part
we're
of
gonna
this.
give you the honor to spin here. We're not gonna turn it around, but give it a nice little wheel of fortune. There you
Ooh,
go.
the
That's
drama.
nice. What is it? Oh yeah!
Oh,
finally!
shit.
Finally, all right. So you landed on Sabaton,
Oh,
Primo Victoria.
You're gonna love
Primo
this album.
Victoria.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of him?
I have heard of them, yes.
Oh,
How could
that's
you
not
not?
Sweden.
How could you
Isn't
not?
that the
Yeah,
deal?
had I not known you fellas, I probably wouldn't have heard.
Yeah.
Probably not.
But,
Because we've been
Yeah.
to the concerts.
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
2.
We've been to several.
3.
Honestly, I think we've been on like 4 or 5.
I'm pretty sure
That's
I've
impressive.
been with you on every single one, but I don't know why
Oh,
I don't remember the other ones then.
Yeah, I don't remember them all now.
Yeah.
I always wish I'd kept track of that shit, kept ticket stubs, or at least wrote it down in an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, I did keep ticket stubs for a while.
Yeah.
and
Then you
I don't know
move
where
it.
they are now.
You have a couple and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do I really care that I
Right.
saw
Yeah.
Aerosmith
Yeah.
in 1999?
You wish you
Right.
had kept all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been to a fairly
I know
decent amount of
I know what I've
concerts.
been to.
Alright, so Ben,
Yes, sir.
I want to talk to you about Primo Victoria. And just Sabaton in general. Like,
Right now, or you want to wait till next week?
right now, let's just give an interface for how you feel about Sabaton. Because I chose Tool because I knew that they were this kind of like folk rock artist. I liked them. They're not one of my favorites. They had a great live show, but I don't listen to them regularly. I've bought one of their albums.
I bought one Sabaton.
Well, with Spotify and their
It's
recent
It's so fucking
fame,
hard, yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yes.
2005,
Why-
I bought their album.
Why would I buy a bunch of CDs? Yeah.
Yeah, but even so,
Okay, so what are you asking?
just what do you feel about Sabaton?
I
In 2 sentences.
I have good feelings about Sabaton. I can't believe they are where they are today.
Okay. Thank you for listening to Mastering Mediocrity Music Reviews.
That's Jeff. I'm Ben.
This is the new guy.
That's the new guy, Mark. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, kiss your mom, call your grandma, tell her you love her.
But not too deeply
Yeah, because
for either.
yeah, that's a whole category on
Platonic
websites
love.
you don't.
Yeah, platonic. It's definitely just like a universal type of love, not like
Yeah. Thanks for all my Christmas presents when I was a kid.